In the first part of this video, I have discussed about range gained per kilometer of charging. If you have not watched it, please watch it. I'll put it here, or is it here? Yeah, somewhere. Please watch it. It's not necessary that you need to watch it to watch this episode, but it will give you a good context for today's episode, which is the part 2 of that one. Today, we are going to use this range gain per kilometer and try to see how different cars, the 34 cars that are discussed last time, how they fare during certain long distance journeys at certain charging speeds. It's going to be an interesting episode. I will not try to make it as long as the last one. I learned a lesson there. The last one was almost 30 minutes. I'll try to reduce this one as much as possible. Hello everyone, welcome to the Green and Clean YouTube channel. My name is Vittal. Okay, some things before we start this episode. We are going to discuss long distance journeys on these EVs, and the distances are in t-shirt sizes S, M and L. S stands for 400 kilometers, M stands for 800 kilometers, and L stands for 1200 kilometers. So that's the terminology that we will use. And then again the chargers with charging speeds. For this episode, I'll not consider 350 kilowatt of speed because not many chargers are there in India currently. So we will talk about 30, 60, 120 and 150 kilowatt of charging speed. So each of these distances, that is 400, 800 and 1200 kilometers, when covered with 30, 60, 120 and 150 kilowatt of chargers, how much time it takes to cover these journeys. Let's discuss some assumptions and disclaimers. As discussed in the first episode, I'm considering 80% efficiency of the charging speed. That's because you have some heat and transmission losses, and as well as you have some ramp up and ramp down time. So if you are at a 60 kilowatt station and charge for 1 hour, I'm considering only 48 kilowatt hour goes into the battery. So 80% efficiency is assumed even in this episode. The battery capacity and real life range are gathered from internet. So if those are accurate, then the study is accurate. Otherwise, it may not be accurate. Then the range is assumed at highway speeds of 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, just like how we discussed in the last episode. But in this episode, I am going to consider average speed of 65 kilometers per hour. Remember, it doesn't mean that you drive at 65 kilometers per hour, because if you have driven, to cover 65 kilometers in 1 hour, you need to drive at 80 or 90 kilometers per hour, because you always have obstructions in India. Typically, two trucks going occupying two lanes, one going at 20 kilometers, other going at 20.001 kilometers and occupying two lanes. Then you have to wait. Then there are tollways. So there will be some disturbances. So to cover 65 kilometers in an hour, you need to drive at 80 to 90 kilometers per hour speed. So that's what is assumed. The cars are charged when 50 kilometers of range is remaining. So along these journeys, whenever the remaining range of the car is 50 kilometers, then we assume that it goes for charging. Now in real life, it may be difficult to exactly find a charging spot when you are just 50 kilometers away on the meter, but I'm just assuming real life idealistic conditions, just because it's just a study. And then the cars are charged at 80% during charging stops, because from 80 to 100 it takes slightly more time. So I'm assuming from 50 kilometers range till 80% as the charging stops. And last but not the least, at the destination, I am assuming that we just go with 5% SOC left. That means after you cover 400 kilometers, 800 kilometers or 1200 kilometers, we just say that 5% SOC is enough when you reach the end point. Because if you don't do this, then you have bigger battery packs which need more energy. Let's say you want to consider 40% as the destination SOC, but that may not be required because bigger battery packs have more capacity. So 5% SOC is assumed. So in this episode, I'm not going to read out each and every brand's car. So instead, what I have done is divided the car in as per their price. So I call anything below 20 lakhs as budget cars, 20 to 30 lakhs as mid-range cars, 30 to 40 lakhs as premium cars, and more than 40, I'm calling it as ultra premium or luxury. Let's call it as luxury. So budget, mid-range, premium, and luxury cars. That's how we are going to discuss today's episode. And just to see what is a budget car, so I'm considering Kia Carens, Tata Punch, Tata Curve, Tata Nexon, MG Windsor, XUV 400, Mahindra XUV 400 and Tiago EV as budget cars. In the mid-range, Mahindra B6, Mahindra XEV 9E, the smaller battery pack, Harrier EV, MG ZS EV, BYD Atto 3, Hyundai Kona, BYD Emax 7, the smaller battery pack, and Hyundai Creta. These are the ones that fall under this category. And then in the premium segment, I'm considering BYD Atto 3 60 kilowatt battery, Mahindra XEV 9e 79 kilowatt battery, and then Volvo C40, Volvo XC40, BYD Emax 7 70 kilowatt hour battery pack. And in the luxury segment, I'm considering BYD Seal, both the variants, Kia EV6, Hyundai Ioniq 5, and BYD C Line 7 under the luxury category. And remember, we are trying to see how much time it takes to cover certain distances on these EVs. The speed of the vehicle is constant. I'm considering average 65 kilometers per hour. I know different cars can go at different speeds, especially the premium and luxury segments, but for the sake of this episode, I'm just assuming every car goes at average 65 kilometers. What is important is the charging time, how much time each of these cars takes to charge. So at the end of the day, the total time that is taken solely depends on the charging time. So total time for each of the case will be the driving time plus the charging time. That's how it's going to be. And all the rankings and whatever I showed today is only based on total time taken for the journey. It is not considering other aspects of the car like safety, the features, and other material comforts and things like that. So it's only the total time taken to cover these distances based on which these cars are rated today. Let's get started with the first scenario, a 400-kilometer trip with only 30 kilowatt of charging speed at charging stations. Again, I'm going by segments under budget segment. It's the Tata Curve EV 55 kilowatt hour battery pack car that comes out first. It can cover this distance in 380 minutes. It needs to have one stop and about 11 minutes of charging time. Next is the MG Windsor EV 53 kilowatt hour battery pack. It can do this in 383 minutes. The third is Tata Nexon EV 45. It can do this in 386 minutes. And I will not read all of them to save time on this episode. I'll just put it in the slide here. You can pause it and see it for yourself. Now let's go to the same use case with mid-range cars. Here Tata Harrier EV 75 kilowatt hour takes 369 minutes. That's the first ranked car. Then XEV 9e with 369 minutes, around about the same number of minutes. As you can see in the top 3 or 4, it's nearly the same timings, because so these cars can cover this distance without having to need to recharge. That's why you see it. Going upwards to the premium segment, again it is pretty much the same time, 369 minutes with BYD Emax 7, XEV 9e, Volvo C40, Atto 3, Volvo XC40, etc., etc. And even in the luxury segment, it is the same, because this is really a short distance, not to be, it doesn't bother these cars with big batteries. Now let's go to the next use case, 400 kilometers with a 60 kilowatt hour, 60 kilowatt charger. The budget segment, again, Tata Curve is the winner, doing it in 374 minutes. It's about 8 or 9 minutes faster than the previous case. Then the second spot is Windsor EV at 377 minutes. Nexon EV 45 kilowatt hour battery pack at 379 minutes, and you can see rest of them how it stacks at 400 kilometers trip at 60 kilowatt hour charger. And the next is the same use case, 400 kilometers with 60 kilowatt charger with the mid-range cars. Mahindra BE6 79 can do it in 369 minutes. Harrier EV can do it in 369 minutes, again the same time. Mahindra XEV 9e can do it in the same time. So actually there is no point in discussing this, because as I said, it doesn't matter, the charging speed is increased, but it's really a short distance. 400 kilometers can be done with this car. So I will skip the premium and the luxury segments, because it doesn't, the timing is the same. And 400 kilometers at 120 kilowatt charger, this use case also doesn't make sense, because the budget cars don't have this kind of speed, the support for this kind of DC charging speed, and the premium cars can do this without having to charge. So I will have to skip 400 kilometers 120 and 400 kilometers 150 kilowatt charger speeds. So we'll go to the next one. Okay, now we are going longer distance, 800 kilometers at 30 kilowatt charger. Let's see how it looks like. As you can see here, Tata Punch EV has beaten Curve EV. That's because the smaller battery pack at lesser speed is more efficient, because the smaller battery pack cars have more kilometers per kilowatt hour, and the speed of the gun is not really much. So Tata Punch EV beats the rest of the EVs in this. Tata Punch 35 can do it in 849 minutes. Nexon EV 45 kilowatt hour battery pack can do it in 858 minutes. Tata Curve EV 55 kilowatt hour can do it in 865 minutes, and you can see rest of them in the slide here. Then let's move on to the mid-range section. In the mid-range, Tata Harrier EV with 75 kilowatt hour is at 826 minutes. You can see that these cars, mid-range cars, can do it nearly about 20 minutes faster than the previous ones. So Tata Harrier EV at 826, Tata B6 at 826 minutes, roughly the same minutes. Hyundai Creta electric, the both versions, so they can do it in 845 minutes, and you can see rest of them on the slide here. By the way, you can also see on the slide deck the number of stops it takes, how much percentage needs to be charged, and what is the time it takes to charge. So all of that is there in the slide. Maybe you can pause the video and see if you're interested. Next, let's go to the premium segment. Here, Mahindra XEV9e wins at 836 minutes. XEV9e 79 kilowatt hour battery pack is really a bit of borderline. It can come below 30 lakhs, but I have put it above 30 lakhs. It's just about a border case, so I'm just putting it in this segment, so please don't mind about that. And then BYD Atto 3 is at second spot, 850 minutes, and BYD Emax 7, 854 minutes. You can see the rest of them on this slide. Next, we go to the luxury segment. BYD Seal 82 kilowatt hour wins here, 821 minutes. So these cars do much faster than the previous ones. And then the BYD Seal 61 kilowatt hour variant can do it in 844 minutes, and you can see rest of the numbers on this slide. By the way, if you're liking this content, a kind reminder to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon. So let's go ahead to the same 800 kilometers at 60 kilowatt charger. Starting with the budget car, again Tata Curve EV 55 kilowatt, 802 minutes. Tata Punch EV 803 minutes. Tata Curve EV 45 in 808 minutes, and you can see the rest of them. You see here the time is even shortened because now we have faster charging, and you can see in the slide the details. Next, let's go to the mid-range cars. Tata Harrier EV is winning this time in this race, 782 minutes. Actually, it's almost the same as B6, which is in the second spot. It's just a minor seconds difference here maybe. So 782 minutes for B6 as well. XEV9e comes in the third place, 794 minutes, and you can see rest of the cars in this slide. Moving ahead to the premium segment, XEV9e 79 kilowatt hour battery pack is winner here, 787 minutes. BYD Atto 3 at 796 minutes, and you can see rest of the cars here. Moving on to the luxury segment, BYD Seal 82 is winning again with 779 minutes. BYD Seal 61 battery pack is 791 minutes, and you can see rest of the models here. By the way, all these calculations are done using a small Python program that I wrote, and that's how these numbers were arrived at, or these figures were arrived at. Let's move on to the same 800 kilometers with 120 kilowatt charger. Here you can see now Kia Carens Clavis winning the race, because Clavis does support slightly higher faster charging, so it can do the 800 kilometer trip on a 120 kilowatt charger in 795 minutes. Tata Curve EV goes to the second spot with 802 minutes, and you can see the rest of the models on this slide for the budget segment. Next, on the mid-range cars, Mahindra B679 wins at 760 minutes. Tata Harrier EV 75 is now moved to second spot, 764 minutes, and you can see the rest of the cars in this slide. Now moving to the premium segment, XEV9e wins here, 763 minutes. BYD Atto 3 60 kilowatt hour pack, 767 minutes, and you can see the rest of the models on the slide. Okay, moving on to the luxury segment, BYD Seal 82 again wins, 759 minutes. BYD Seal 61 at 764 minutes, and you can see the rest of the cars on the slide. Okay, 800 kilometer trip with 150 kilowatt charger. For the budget segment, again Carens Clavis is the winner, 795 minutes. Tata Curve EV 55 at 802 minutes, and you can see rest of the cars here. Moving to the mid-range cars, Mahindra B6 wins with 760 minutes. Tata Harrier EV 75 wins with 764 minutes, and you can see the rest of the cars on this slide. Going to the premium segment, XEV9e with 763 minutes, and BYD Atto 3 at 765 minutes, and you can see rest of the cars here. Onto the luxury segment, BYD Seal 82 is again winner at 757 minutes, Kia EV6 at 762 minutes. So that's how the 800-kilometer journey with the highest speed charger looks like. Okay, let's look at the longest trip for today, 1200 kilometers of trip at 30 kilowatt charging speed. The winner for the first round at 30 kilowatt charger is again Punch EV 35 kilowatt hour pack. It can do it in 1307 minutes. Nexon EV can do it in 1327 minutes, 1327 minutes, and you can see the rest of the details on this slide. Moving on to the mid-range cars, Hyundai Creta Electric wins here, the 42 kilowatt hour pack. It can do it in 1307 minutes, the same as the ones above. And then the Harrier EV 75 can do it in 1311 minutes, and you can see the rest of the cars here. Next is the premium cars. Mahindra XEV9e can do it in 1329 minutes. BYD Atto 3 can do it in 1338 minutes, and you can see rest of the cars here. One thing I want you to note here is that 1200 kilometers at 30 kilowatt of charging speed. If you see, the budget cars are doing better than the high-end cars, and that is again, as I explained before, these budget cars have smaller batteries. You are at a smaller charging speed, the lesser charging speed. So these budget cars are much more efficient, but when it comes to faster charging, that's where the higher end cars take over. And the last segment is the luxury segment. BYD Seal 1309 minutes, BYD Seal 61 in 1324 seconds, sorry, 1324 minutes, and you can see the rest of it on this slide. Okay, let's look at 1200-kilometer trip with a 60 kilowatt charger. Tata Punch EV comes number one, 1225 minutes. Curve EV 55 comes at 1230 minutes, and you can see the rest of the cars, how it stacks up here. We'll move on to the mid-range cars. You can see Tata Harrier EV 75 doing it in 1209 minutes. Mahindra B6 is at the second spot, 1211 minutes, and you can see the rest of the cars on this slide here. Moving to the premium cars, XEV9e covers it in 1218 minutes. That's at number one. And then number two is BYD Atto 3, 1223 minutes. And you can see rest of the cars here. Going to the luxury segment, again BYD Seal 82 wins at 1208 minutes. BYD Seal 61 is at 1216 minutes. Okay, let's look at 1200-kilometer trip at 120 kilowatt charging speed. Again, no surprise here, Kia Carens Clavis comes to the number one spot because of the higher charging speed. So it shows you the importance of getting a car with the better charging speed, because you can do long journeys in shorter time. So Kia Carens can do it in 1206 minutes. Punch EV 35 can do it in 1225 minutes. And you can see the rest of the cars on this slide here. Moving to the mid-range cars, Mahindra B6 79 can do it in 1160 minutes. XEV9e can do it in 1164 minutes, and you can see rest of the cars on this slide. Moving to the premium cars, XEV9e 1163 minutes, BYD Atto 3 is at 1165 minutes, and you can see the rest of the cars in the slide. On the luxury side, BYD Seal 82 can do it in 1158 minutes, BYD Seal can do it in 1161 minutes. If you see closely here, there's not much of difference between the luxury and the premium cars, sometimes even the mid-range cars. So beyond a certain point, most of these cars can cover these distances in the same amount of time. It's all in the matter of comfort, safety, and other aspects that you can rank these cars. We're now down to the last use case, 1200 kilometer trip with a 150 kilowatt charging speed. Kia Carens Clavis on the budget segment is the winner here, 1206 minutes. Tata Punch EV 1225 minutes, and you can see the rest of it in the slide here. Moving to the mid-range, Mahindra B6 takes the top spot here. The 79 kilowatt hour battery pack, it takes 1160 minutes. Mahindra XEV9e can cover it in 1164 minutes, and you can see the rest of the cars on the slide. Moving to the premium segment, BYD Atto 3 is the winner here. At BYD Atto 360 kilowatt hour pack at 1162 minutes. It has just beaten Mahindra XEV9e, which is at 1163 minutes, just 1 minute here and there, so should not be a big deal. You can see the rest of the cars on this slide. Moving to the next segment, which is the luxury, BYD Seal 82 still is the winner at 1155 minutes, 1155 minutes. And Kia EV6 has now come to the second spot, just behind BYD Seal at 1156 minutes. And you can see the rest of the cars. So far you have seen different charging speeds and different distances covered by these cars, and you have seen different winners. Sometimes they are same winners, sometimes they move up and down. Now, what if we devise some kind of a point system and try to rank these cars for all the scenarios put together? That is 400, 800, 1200 kilometers of long trips with different charging speeds at 30, 60, 120 and 150 kilowatt charging speed. If you start giving some sort of a point and try to see which is the best ranked car, this is maybe what you want to know in the end after watching so much. So I have also done that using the little program that I have. And here are the winners for the budget segment. Kia Carens Clavis EV 42 kilowatt hour is at number 1 spot. Tata Punch EV 35 is at number 2. Tata Curve EV 55 is at 3. Tata Curve EV 45 is at number 4. Next slot goes to Tata Nexon EV 30, and the next slot is Tata EV 45. And you can see the slides here, how they all stack up. The last position goes to Tata Tiago EV with the 19 kilowatt hour battery pack. Now, if you see the mid-range cars, the number 1 ranking goes to Mahindra BE6 79 kilowatt hour battery pack. Then comes the second spot is Mahindra XEV9E. Tata Harrier EV 75 takes the third spot. MG ZS EV is the surprise, it's at number 4. BYD Atto 3 is at number 5. All the rankings on this slide here. Going to the premium segment, BYD Atto 3 is the surprise winner here because it did well in some segments and it was relatively at the top. So BYD Atto 3 is the winner at premium segment. Mahindra XEV9E comes at number 2. XEV9E 79 kilowatt hour pack at number 2. Volvo C40 is at number 3. Number 4 goes to Volvo XC40, and the last spot goes to BYD Emax 7. And if you talk about the luxury cars, BYD Seal 82 is not surprised because BYD Seal 82 won many of the use cases. So BYD Seal 82 is at number 1 spot. Kia EV6 is at number 2 spot. And then BYD Seal, the smaller battery pack 61 is at number 3. Hyundai Ioniq 5 is at number 4. And surprisingly, BYD Sea Lion 7 is at the last spot on this luxury car segment. So that's it for today. I hope you got some insights and some idea about these different cars and how they perform in terms of total time to cover certain distances. Again, if you have liked this episode, please like, please subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, and I thank you very much for watching this episode till the end. See you again in other episodes of Green and Clean YouTube channel.